it's time for today's guest, and she's staying up well past her bedtime tonight for an investigation into dangerous dogs. Here with some of the shocking stories she's uncovered, give a warm welcome to Good Morning Britain's Charlotte Hawkins.
Hello.
Welcome.
Nice to see you all.
Look,
Absolutely
fantastic.
Thank you so much. It does feel very strange, I have to say, being here at this time of the day, first thing in the morning.
Now, Charlotte, the show is on tonight, isn't it? 8:30 p.m. on ITV1.
Yes, it is.
And it's Dangerous Dogs. What's the truth?
What's the truth?
It is. I was quite shocked to read all the stats about these dangerous dogs. Why do you think it is now happening more and more?
Well, that's what we wanted to investigate, really, to have a look at what the cause is behind this big increase in dog attacks, in dog fatalities. I'd noticed on Good Morning Britain that we were talking about attacks and, sadly, fatalities more and more often, and wanted to just dig a bit deeper to find out why that was. You know, a lot of people said, well, more people are owning dogs because of the pandemic. A lot of people got puppies, and then, you know, they didn't necessarily get the training, or their lifestyle changed. They went back to work, and the dog's, you know, maybe a bit stressed at home on its own. But actually, the figures have been rising before the pandemic. So something has been going on. So we wanted to speak to lots of experts, just get the opinions on what we think is going on and what can be done about it, because it can't keep going up. And when you see in the documentary things like the mum, Emma, I spoke to, who lost her 10-year-old son, Jack, he was killed in a dog attack. And it's just what is going on in the world when we're losing children because dogs aren't under sufficient control.
Well, actually, we've got a clip of that from tonight's show, so we'll have a look at that.
Jack was attacked when he was invited into a house to meet a dog whilst out playing nearby. That dog was an XL bully called Beast, acquired by his new owner just a few days earlier over social media, having been advertised as aggressive. In the days leading up to the attack, CCTV had recorded Beast lunging at passers-by in the street, including a child.
I mean, that's shocking to watch, and that mother herself is campaigning now, isn't she?
She is, yeah. She wants an overhaul. She wants it to be looked at. She wants to make sure that no other family goes through that. And I think, you know, it's shocking to see that footage, isn't it? It's shocking to see that dog.
Were they kicking the dog there?
And, well, the dog was lunging at people and nothing was done, you know, that they weren't able to control it.
Charlotte, I would love to ask you, in your research and investigation, why do people want to own a dog that is listed as dangerous? And we see it on Breakfast TV and everything, as you say, lots of film about it. And I read one stat that I think the cases have gone up by a third. Why do people want to own that kind of dog?
Well, that was one of the questions that I wanted to find out as well, because you sort of wonder, you know, some of these XL bully dogs get to be as big as 9 stone, and if you don't know what you're doing, you know, if you can't control that dog, then there is going to be an issue. But I spoke to Rosie, who is an advocate for the American Bulldog breed. She has an American Bulldog herself and says, you know, in the right hands, when they're got in a loving home, they are a docile dog, they're a lovely addition to her household, and she very much believes that it's bad owners and not bad dogs.
Well, I'm with her, actually, because I do think it comes down, you know, we see this all the time, and I follow a lot of dog training experts on social media, and it always seems to come down to, it's not really the dog, it's how they're brought up. And I think some of these dogs that are brought in, some people actually buy them as a weapon.
I think so, yeah. I mean, you know, there are unscrupulous breeders who are selling them online. I think it's got to be looked at, the way that we're allowing dogs to be bought and sold and bred. You know, we have to make sure that there's accountability. And if there is an aggressive dog, then there has to be sort of some way of being able to keep track of that and keep track of the owners who aren't able to control them.
I always thought there was a legal requirement for certain dogs to have a muzzle as well when you're out and about. Is that...
I just think that, you know, everything needs to be looked at to try to make sure that the responsible owners, if they know that their dog has an issue out in public with other dogs or with people, will do that. That, you know, you should have a responsibility to make sure that you're keeping your dog under control and not putting other people or other dogs at risk. But sadly, it's not happening enough, is it? You know, is there enough comeback for those people who don't?
But see, I've always had dogs. I've got a dog now. I've had 2 rescue dogs, and I had a staffy called George that was 11 years old when he died. He had the nicest nature, honestly, never bit anyone, never attacked anyone. A lot of it is down to the owners, because if you attack a dog or you kick a dog, then how can they respond or what can they do apart from bite you? So, I mean, a lot of it is down to the owners, isn't it, I think?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the way that they're looked after. And again, you know, it's sort of, I think, also being aware of the signs of aggression.
Yeah.
We had this virtual reality dog where you could see and recognise when it was getting stressed and when it was upset. And, for example, a child who might not be able to pick up on those signs, might misread what was going on, then moves towards the dog. That's when, if a dog is scared, it might lash out and misunderstandings
But you
can
witnessed
happen.
a dog attacking someone, didn't you?
I did, yeah, which was, you know, shocking. I'm a dog lover, always loved dogs, always felt comfortable around dogs, and we were walking on a footpath, a group of us, next to a garden, and there were 2 big dogs behind a fence barking aggressively. And I was saying to my friends, you know, it'll be fine, don't worry, they're just sort of, you know, shouting about the fact that we're near their territory. But one of the dogs got through the fence and attacked my friend's daughter, and, you know, it was terrifying. I had my baby daughter in a sling, in a child carrier on my front, so I kind of felt, you feel powerless and you feel vulnerable at the same time to try to help. Luckily, my friend's child was okay, but you just realise in an instant how things can change. If a dog isn't under control, you're left very powerless when it's a big dog to actually be able to do anything to defend yourself and step in.
Yeah, and I noticed in the film as well, your lovely dog Bailey was featured, who very sadly you lost.
We lost her last week.
Last week.
Yeah, it...
part of the family as well,
she
isn't
was
it?
part of the family.
How old?
Actually, she was 16. She was a rescue dog. So she'd been with us for so long, and I hadn't really been able to talk about it. So, you know, even to sort of my friends to let them know, because I just didn't really want to face up to the fact that she wasn't there. And I think anyone who has a dog, you get used to them running to the front door. I still feel like I can hear her paws on the tiles, you know, when I open the front door, and there's not this little face. So it's going to take a while to adjust to that. But actually, it was so lovely that she was able to be there for the filming in the documentary.
That's lovely.
And you know, I was sort of so pleased about that. She'll be much missed by all of us. Yeah.
And just to end it on a high, you're also doing the Andre Rieu Lovers All Around tour later this month. Are you hosting that?
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's like a breath of fresh air. I think as well, when you work in news, you talk about a lot of serious stories, don't you? So it's nice to be able to do some light-hearted things at the same time. So he does this big classical concert in Maastricht. Tens of thousands of people go from all around the world to see it. And I host the version that then goes out in cinemas, so we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes chat with him. So for people who can't get to a concert to see live music there and then, you can just pop down to your local cinema.
I love that.
It's the 26th and 27th of August, and you get a front row seat, you can get your popcorn in and all sorts, and enjoy some amazing music.
And he's amazing.
Oh, Charlotte.
The way
He is.
everybody's dressed so beautifully and everybody's smiling.
Brings it to life,
Charlotte,
singing and dancing.
thank you so much for joining us
you. Thanks for
today.
having
The
me.
programme tonight's The Night Show, Dangerous Dogs, What's the Truth, ITV1, ITVX tonight at 8:30. Charlotte.